welcome to the third webinar in our Maximizing MediaValet series, Advanced Search Strategies for Smarter Results. We're so excited to have you here, but before we dive in, there's a little housekeeping. So this session is being recorded and will be sent out afterwards. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat live. We'll do our best to answer them then and there, or a team member will follow up with you. I'm Kaylee. For those of you who don't know, I think I have a few of my customers here today. I'm an account manager here at MediaValet, and I'm excited to walk you through face recognition and smart image search, two very powerful tools to help you and your teams find, organize, and maximize your digital assets. The goal of today is to show you what's possible and maybe even inspire you to start using these features in new ways. Joining me today is Sarita. Sarita, over to you.
Thanks, Kaylee. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarita, VP of Product and Design here at MediaValet. I'm really excited to demo to you, Kaylee, and everyone else how these features can help simplify you with your asset management.
Awesome. Before we get too far into the world of exciting smart image search and face recognition, we're going to start off with a quick poll just to get everyone kind of engaged in the start of here. So we just want to know what your biggest challenges are when searching for digital assets. Just give everyone a little bit to submit their answers there.
I'd be curious to see what people say. And Kaylee, I'm guessing when you're talking to your customers, you hear maybe a mix of these. Some gravitate, maybe some customers feel these more than others. So it'll be interesting what this group says.
Yeah, I'm super keen. I hear a lot of complaints about stock imagery, which I think will be very relevant today. Right, looks like finding the right assets due to inconsistent naming or tagging. So Sarita, I think you have some cool things to show us that might help with that with smart image search.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that will really help. And that's a really pain. Trying to get everyone to use the same naming convention is really hard, and getting that enforced is consistency. And so it makes sense that that really becomes a pain point.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's get into it then and see how we can alleviate some of those challenges that you are having from the poll. Let's start with face recognition, a game changer in managing and organizing your digital assets. This feature automatically detects and tags faces in images and videos, making it incredibly easy to find the specific people across your entire library. Once you tag someone, MediaValet remembers them, so any future uploads featuring that person will be automatically labeled, saving you time and effort. No need to double tag. Now, we can start off with a real-world example as well. We spoke with Ryan Holloway, the digital asset manager for Miami-Dade County. When he first took on the role, he faced these massive challenges. Their images were scattered across multiple locations. Searching for specific people was a nightmare. Their photo archive was huge, with 65,000 plus images in just one category. Oh my God, I'm getting a headache just thinking about it. Once Ryan implemented MediaValet, face recognition completely changed the game. For example, he was tasked with finding photos of the mayor within a collection of that 65,000 photos, a daunting challenge that would typically take over 50 hours of manual searching, scrolling through endless files, and cross-referencing names, and verifying images would have been a painstaking, time-consuming process. But with face recognition, the entire workflow was transformed. In just 30 minutes, Ryan was able to run the search, compile the images, put them in a collection, and seamlessly share them with his team. Beyond just saving time, the face recognition feature also provided an added advantage. You could instantly pull every image of the mayor since she took office in 2020, even if she was just like in the background of a shot, or maybe it was the side of her face. So no more guessing or relying on inconsistent metadata. Plus, he could refine his search even further by identifying images featuring both the mayor and key figures that she works with, like the chairman, for example. They were able to do some enabling with external partners as well, from a transit agency. Given access to the dam who was putting together photos for an anniversary project, that person was able to create a lightbox with all the images and the people that they were looking for using face recognition, and asked Ryan if she could just use the assets, essentially saving Ryan tons of time putting together everything that needed and saving that back and forth that happens all the time. What once felt like an impossible task became a streamlined, highly efficient process, proving the power of AI-driven asset management. But that's just like one example that how to take the guesswork out of face recognition and busy work. But Sarita, I think she can show us a little bit about what that workflow actually looks like.
Definitely. I'm going to be demonstrating how you can navigate your assets with ease by discovering assets through advanced AI-powered search features. So as you follow along, I hope you think about your own workflows in DEM and how you can use these for your advantage. All right, let me get up our demo here. So I'm going to be demonstrating how you navigate through assets with ease. And so before I do that, let me just show, for those of you who may not be as familiar with MediaValet or need a refresher, this is MediaValet. This is our DEM. So as you can see, I've got my previews here. You can click on them and get some more detail there. On the left, I've got my category structure or my folders. So these are assets organized in a way that makes sense for me. And then even farther left here, I have my navigation menu, so I can take advantage of the various features in MediaValet. So if you, for example, needed to go into a specific category, you've got them right here. And then I wanted to be able to operate just in these and have a bit of a cleaner view. You can collapse these and do that just there. So that's really nice. So now let's talk about face. So this is going to help you discover your faces without metadata that you have to manually put in. So I want to start with the faces dashboard to start. So this has identified faces in your images and grouped them together automatically and categorized them for you. You haven't had to do any work. So you can see in this identified tab in our faces dashboard that we've got 4 names recognized. Now, the identification of these faces was done by me or somebody else in the system. So the systems recognize them and categorize them, but I'm the one that has named them. So if I click on a face here, you're going to see all of your images with that recognized face. And you can see there's a variety of images, sometimes where that face is the primary in the image, sometimes where it's with lots of other individuals, but you're going to be able to see them all together. It's a very powerful way to organize your faces. You'll also notice, besides my identified faces, I have this unidentified tag. So this is, again, the system recognizing faces in the system and organizing them and grouping them together. So for example, this one's got 6, 6, so on and so forth. If you want to be able to identify and name a face, all you do is click on this little pencil here, and you could put in the identification. Hit apply. What that's going to do is associate that name, that identity, to all the images with that face. So when you go back here, you're now going to see that as an identified face. Let's say you realize, oh, I've gotten this person's name wrong, the identification. All you do is, again, hit the pencil, and you can just edit the name. And again, that's going to update all those assets, all those images with that name. Now, sometimes you realize after the fact, oh, that's actually not an identity I know. We don't know who that face is. If you want to remove that, all you do is click this little X, and that's going to remove that name from those faces. That face will still be recognized and categorized together, and so you're not losing any of that organization. All it's going to do is, again, remove that name, and it will just show back up on your unidentified tag. So when you've got an identified face with a name, the great thing is that is associated again with those assets. So you can pair this with other search criteria, which is really helpful to help you find what you need. And we'll demo some of that in a little bit, Kaylee.
Awesome. Excited to see it. Well, as everyone knows from the title of this webinar, face recognition isn't the only breakthrough feature transforming the DAM experience right now. Pairing face recognition with our new feature, Smart Image Search, makes finding your assets even easier. With Smart Image Search, you don't have to rely on metadata or file names to find the right image. Instead, AI lets you search using natural language. So just type in what you're looking for, and MediaValet will find exactly what that is. So for example, sunset, city skyline, MediaValet will do the rest and find you pictures of a skyline at sunset. It even understands synonyms like with regional differences. So whether you search for buggy in the UK or shopping cart in North America, you're still going to get the same results. Sarita, do you think you can show us what that might look like?
Absolutely. So I'm going to show you our next feature, which is close to my heart. It's one that I love. We show this to a lot of customers and prospective customers. and they're really wowed by it. So it's called Smart Image Search. So let me get at my demo environment. I'll talk a little bit, and then I'll actually show it in practice here. Okay, back to the demo environment we go. So Smart Image Search is an AI-powered search feature. It actually transcends metadata altogether. So typically, anytime most people are searching, you put in your search criteria here, and you're doing that based on metadata that's attached to your assets. Even the people dashboard and that facial recognition that we just talked about, that's creating metadata for me with AI, but it's using metadata. With Smart Image Search, it doesn't need it at all. So this is not your typical search based on metadata. When you perform this Smart Image Search, the AI understands the intent behind what you're saying. It understands what's in your images, and even the concept of what's in your image, and it essentially pairs them together all with that metadata. So let's show it in action. I've got a couple of search queries here. The first thing you do is you toggle it on. You click this button right here, which turns on your Smart Image Search. So let's say I want to search for college students. Okay. So now I've got some results back, and you can see I've got a variety of things. I've got students outside of buildings, students in classrooms, students by themselves, students together. The AI understood what I'm asking for and has given me a good variety of images based on the context of that question. So with any AI feature that's using natural language, it's going to get better results with more explicit terms that you include. So let's get a little bit more explicit here and say college students studying for an important test. So you described a concept, right? And you could do a search trying to get the similar results or some degree results that uses metadata. You could put in a search that says, show me everything that's tagged to laptop or computer or student. But you don't need to do that with Smart Image Search. You've got a very explicit term here, and it understands that, and you're getting back really good, relevant results. So this is really key that if you need something specific, you can put that in here without having specific metadata to get you good quality and variety of results. So what I have in this library here is a lot of stock images, and I haven't done a lot of work myself to tag or add extra metadata here. So if I hit this, and you can see if I turn off Smart Image Search, you're going to see that there's actually no results because there's no metadata associated with those images that would render any results back. And that just really shows the power of Smart Image Search. I'm getting this without having done any upfront work. So a couple more things to point out with Smart Image Search. So let's take this term that I've just put in, and let's say you have users that are in a different part of the country or the world, and they use freshman instead of college. So again, Smart Image Search is going to understand what you're asking for and what images, what the intent of that image is. And again, you've got a really good variety of images, a lot of the same ones, because it understands this essentially means the same thing. So synonyms can be really tricky. A lot of work required to add synonyms. You don't need to do that with Smart Image Search. It takes a lot of the work out of there for you. Outside of synonyms, we're going to transcend metadata in another way, by languages entirely. So Smart Image Search supports over 60 languages. So if I were to search this in Spanish, we can do that and see what we get. I don't know Spanish, but I did get the translation in advance. So a Spanish description of university students studying for an important exam. If anyone is a native Spanish speaker and this isn't perfect, please let me know. This is what a translation service gave me. I'm not talented enough to get to know Spanish. So you can see that, again, you're getting relevant search results here. You've got students in classrooms, in front of computers, together in groups, sitting on a Noli hill, studying, but the fundamental concept is what you're getting there. All right. And then there's one last thing, Kaylee, that I wanted to show. So let's put in a different search criteria altogether. And I'm going to put in male professional with colleagues. Okay. So there is a lot of results here with male professional colleagues. Sometimes they're in the center image, sometimes there's a group, sometimes there's, with a variety of people. So let's say that you have actually done a good job adding some metadata and you want to be able to use that. We don't want to throw that away. So what you're going to do is see people and images here. What this is this is going to use those identified people that we just showed you in that people dashboard, and you can filter based on that. So for example, if I want to see all of these with John Smith, now I've got all my professional males with colleagues that include John Smith. So again, a really great way that you can refine your search with metadata you've got, combining it with smart image search. It just gets you where you need to be a little bit faster. So hopefully this helps Kaylee show you and everyone else how this gets you a lot of good quality results without any metadata.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Sarita. Well, I am from the East Coast, so I talk really fast, and Sarita is very competent. So we got through today a little quick. So we have some questions or some time for questions. If you want to put them in the chat, we can give some answers live here.
All right.
Katie asks, could we search within people lists?
We search within people list. So you can search for people that are identified. Absolutely. And that's that people and images in your advanced search, and any identified people will show up there. And again, you can combine that with other filters. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the next question is, can we untag people in the DAM? Which you can. Sarita showed you how you can hit the little edit button and remove, and they'll just go back into the identified category while still being a collection of faces that are all relevant to one another.
Absolutely. We've got a question from Phil. Hey, Phil. Hi, all. Is this now out and available in the web version of MediaValet? Yes, it is. So this is available to all users in MediaValet. Not a problem at all. You need to be using our new MediaValet experience. So look for the setting and the toggle for that, but it is available to everybody.
Awesome. And then I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Joao, I think, is Portuguese supported in the SIS search? And yes, I believe it is, Sarita. I think it's all Latin-based languages right now and a few others.
All right, let's see some more questions rolling in here.
David says, is there also smart image search toggle button for client portals? There currently isn't, but we are running out some branded portal experience upgrades this year in H1 and H2 on our product roadmap. I can connect with you after this call and share that with you. But some of those include metadata searching in portals as well. And then Teresa, Sriti might be able to answer this one. Can smart image search return more than 200 results?
Good question, Teresa. I believe the answer is yes. Let me double check. If it's not, we'll get back to you, but I believe that it can return more than 200.
Jim asks, are there any plans to use this AI to search for products? Our MediaValet DAM is only used for our products, not for people. Do you have any context on that, Sarita?
Yeah, if we're talking about smart image search, you should be able to use it for products. Absolutely. So if you just describe sort of what you have, it should be able to provide results back. Now, people is only specifically for faces. So we actually use a backend service powered by Microsoft, and it's analyzing images, detecting human faces, and then identifying those and grouping them together. So that does not work with products, but smart image search. I'd be curious to see how, when you search for different types of things, if you've got a variety of different types of products, you should be able to use that.
Yeah. And then do you support AI-based asset management for video files? So the smart image search that we went over today is just for still assets. So your photos, PDF documents, things like that, or just photos, right, I believe. But we do have AI for video in our audio video intelligence, which does do face recognition, analyzes keyframes, will give you a transcript of all spoken word in that video, and then the ability to translate those into 61 different languages as well.
Yeah. And you can also search by people identified in videos that are tagged by that AI search in your advanced search also.
Loving these questions. Keep them coming, folks. Where do I control the employee access within the hot dam experience? Katie, that's coming. We're working on parity right now. So H2 is when we're going to be working on that parity for administration access and availability in the hot dam experience. And then Sarita, I think you had a cool example of how about illustrations versus photos for face recognition that we played with the other day. Michael Caine?
Oh, let me see. Maybe if you ask another question, I'll see if I still have it in my library.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even expect you to share it. I was just going to say that our team did do like a cartoon version of Michael Caine and then like a real version of Michael Caine.
Oh,
And it did recognize Michael Caine in both. Obviously, that illustration was pretty like, it was cartoonish, like it wasn't a realistic painting, like oil painting or something. But I have tried it with illustrations of semi-human things like mascots, and it doesn't work as well. But just let you know there.
perfect. Yeah, I think the other thing we were playing around the other day with, I don't have it quite queued up in the library, but Michael Caine when he was sort of in his 20s and 30s versus much older in life, and they were all grouped together, even as someone naturally ages.
You're right. I talked to Parker about the cartoon, not Sarita, so that's why you're like, what are you talking about?
Good question, though.
Yeah. Is there a way to search for a negative? For example, finding people without face masks. I try to do a smart image search and only return images with face masks.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh, interesting question.
Without face masks. I would, with smart image search, again, it's that natural language search. So I would put in the search term just sort of, I think as you've got it, people of whatever type you have, not wearing face masks. Teresa, if you could just maybe email in, we can work on that one with you.
Yeah, I feel like that might just be a phrasing thing, like uncovered faces or something like that. Forgive me if we've covered this, he was interrupted, but can you identify people in group photos of 5 or 6? And yes, you can. So face recognition works really well where if you have one pretty good photo of anybody and tag that, even if you have like a side profile or like a partial image of them, it'll tag them. And if you had a group photo, it would just say Chris, Ian, Sarita, and Kaylee are all in this photo, and it would show up in each of their people tabs.
Just in there.
Yeah.
Is there a way to assign a face to a photo that is recognized but not associated with the right person? If I'm understanding your question right, yes. If a face is identified, one, you can assign a name to that. And if it's not with the right person, let's say someone came in and did that and you realize, oh, that's the wrong person. Yes, you can change that as long as the face is identified. You can add an identity, change an identity, remove an identity. Hopefully that's answers your question, Justin.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more last questions?
Any buzzer beaters here?
Okay, one last good question from Katie. What if groups of photos or essentially what if MediaValet is grouping photos and there is 1 or 2 wrong ones? Good question, Katie. So the way that the technology works, it looks for a good reference photo with faces. And so when it analyzes all your images, it's looking for a photo that's essentially straight on. You can see this proportion here, this proportion there. Once it has a good reference photo, it uses that to identify similar faces. The quality and the accuracy of that recognition is quite high. Again, this is something that's powered actually by Microsoft. And so we haven't seen any instances of incorrect faces pairing together. If it was to happen, we could work on amending that, but we haven't seen that has come up because again, that reference photo is what they use sort of as your key marker to group faces together.
Oh yes, we can connect with you offline on that one, Katie. As I feel like she's experienced some of that now.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, we can rectify that. It's the first I've heard of it, Katie, so you're rare. Any other questions here? Well, I'll give everyone 4 minutes back of their day. Everyone will be sent out a recording of the session. So if you were interrupted or only caught some of it, that'll be sent out. And then mine and Sarita's contact information is there if anyone had any specific questions for us. And Justin will add you to the rare list and reach out to you as well. All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.